Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Wednesday, October 3rd, 2012. The first American presidential debate for this election year will be this evening in Denver, Colorado, beginning at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The country is awaiting this with some degree of interest. In Aleppo, Syria today, the second largest city in Syria, 4 major explosions have ripped through a government compound close to a military officers club, apparently killing 40 people outright. At least another 100 are wounded or seriously injured. A medical source from the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said that 40 people were killed instantly, most of them regime troops. Attacks several minutes later in the main Al-Jabiri Square near a military hotel subsequently occurred, large explosions. Syrian state TV is saying that terrorist explosions have occurred in the city. Al Jazeera, reporting from Beirut in neighboring Lebanon, said that there's no clear responsibility yet for attacks. Nobody has claimed it. In Japan, Chinese banks have told the Japanese that they are pulling out of events linked to annual meetings of the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank scheduled to be held in Tokyo next week. Many of those planning not to attend from the Chinese side gave no reason other than scheduling conflicts, although the meeting has been scheduled for many months. However, Dow Jones Newswire is saying this morning that it's the latest sign in the festering spat over those disputed islands in the Pacific. It's now having a wider impact on bilateral and multilateral trade ties. The Chinese Bank of Communications has pulled out of the IMF-related event. The China Construction Bank said that its officials had scheduling difficulties. The Bank of China has not yet indicated whether they will attend, although it's thought that they won't. Meanwhile, a little further to the south, actually much further to the south, the Pacific is a big place. Indonesia is today racked by labor protests. Apparently, hundreds of factories in Jakarta, 800 plus to be exact, are shuttered right now, as at least 2 million factory workers are going on strike. Protests are underway throughout the entire country. They're protesting against their working conditions and over the work contracts that they have. They have no job security or stability, said one observer. The Jakarta Globe newspaper reported on its website that unions were expecting some 2.8 million people to go on strike in 21 districts and municipalities and in 80 industrial zones all over the country today. The newspaper said the largest demonstration would involve about 500,000 people. Hiscox, the London-based insurer, is making a significant investment in Bermuda's Third Point Re's first managed catastrophe fund. Most importantly, Hiscox is also going to cede some of his catastrophe reinsurance exposure into the new entity. We've talked about Third Point. They're one of the new Bermuda insurers or reinsurers that's looking to build a platform to target off-balance sheet catastrophe risk by plugging in these off-balance sheet sidecars. In a joint statement with Hiscox, Third Point Re said that an initial agreement in principle has been reached that will see Hiscox become a shareholder in a recently established cat fund management investment fund that's called the Third Point Reinsurance Opportunities Fund. This will be the vehicle that will invest in the sidecars. Gibraltar, which is a British oasis in the western end of the Mediterranean, is also a little bit of an insurance and reinsurance hub, so we follow news there. Gibraltar-based Hill Insurance Company is in liquidation today. It's Gibraltar's second insurer to collapse in just a few weeks. This is according to the Insurance Times. Court documents in the winding up of the company reveal that the bonds it used as shareholders' equity were either, quote, non-existent or did not belong to the company. And the insurance company, Hill, on its website said that it had been the victim of serious external fraud. Hill's collapse last month follows hot on the heels of the liquidation of another insurance company in Gibraltar, Lemma Insurance Company. Insurance Times reports that the Hill Insurance, which underwrote aviation and surety bonds, has a license to operate in Italy, Bulgaria, and the UK. Hill is working with the Gibraltar Financial Services Commission to try to establish the facts in the case. Earlier today, there was a little bit of a riot in downtown Tehran. It brought in the riot police. Tear gassing and rubber truncheons were used. Protesters set fire to tires and to rubbish bins. The people protesting were approximately 150 money traders that set up in the central souk who are complaining about the decline in the value of the Iranian rial, which has plummeted to record lows against the US dollars, largely as a result of the economic sanctions. And here's an interesting report that was leaked by the European Commission. Almost all of Europe's nuclear reactors are in need of an urgent overhaul that could cost as much as $32 billion. The Commission is expected to finalize on Thursday this stress test report, which is designed to ensure that a disaster similar to what happened in Fukushima after the earthquake could not happen in Europe. The Commission intends next year to propose new laws, including laws on insurance and liability to, quote, improve the situation of potential victims in the event of a nuclear accident. This is according to the draft report that Reuters obtained. Of the 134 EU nuclear reactors, 111 have more than 100,000 inhabitants living within 18 miles of them. France's nuclear watchdog, France has already said that the country, they rely on about 75% of their total electric output comes from nuclear power. France has already said to bring their systems up to grade, they're going to need billions of euros. The lesson of Fukushima was that two natural disasters could strike at the same time and knock out the electrical supply system of a plant completely, so it would be unable to be cooled down. Of course, they had an earthquake and then a tsunami. In the United States, today marks the end of the regular season Major League Baseball season. It began 6 months ago. A long time. As of yet, the final standings are not yet resolved, so in between watching the debate, people will be switching to the Yankee game and to the Oriole game. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching.